How are we doing, guys? One person's logged in, that's good. I'm just trying to sort out the light in here, guys. Patterson's here, Annie's here. If it's a bit bright, guys, tell me and I'll try and move some lights. Can we see what's up here? A little quote for you to think about. May the joy that you have brought to us be returned to you tenfold. So just have a little think about that while some more people log in. I see I've got this like halo thing above my head. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what I can really do about it either, apart from turn out some lights. But if it becomes too much of an issue, we'll move spots and I'll slide back over and get out of that light. But how are we all? Have you had a good week? I've had an awesome week, considering it's only Wednesday. Been very busy. Lots of travelling, lots of meeting cool people. Lots of work. Lots of running around. Bear with me a second, guys. Let's see what this is all about. Who have we got in? Maddie's back. Oh, it keeps jumping in and out. I don't know who's here yet. Some love from people, which is cool. Always appreciate the love. Come on then, tell me, what sort of week have we had? Who's logging in? Who's letting me know? I don't know if any of this is working. I've got another camera here, trying to get some stuff. I may end up calling Sarah in a second to see how bad it is or bad it's not. Excuse me a second as well. Sarah's made some amazing food. Fillery. Excellent. Spinach and chickpea. Oh yeah. This is not going to be a periscope of me eating, but I'm going to get some before I get going. So, I'm not sure if you guys were aware of what the topic for tonight was. I posted out a newsletter at the weekend. I was talking about family and community. So, we'll wait a couple of minutes. I know some people are signing in, and then we'll jump into what my interpretation of family and community are all about. Off the back of last week's one, so talking about career and things like that. Had a few guys post some questions and a few guys asked them about some books that I'm reading. In fact, I just ordered, again, second time, Think and Grow Rich. The first one I actually sent to Josh in London. So Josh, if you're not reading it, send it to somebody who's going to read it. But I'm sure you told me you were reading it. But this book is that good that I bought it again, just to have, because I think it's a book you need to read and then reread. Because there's loads of good stuff in there about career and about your work and the whole attitude towards it. So I'm reading that one. What else? I'm also reading an online marketing book. So that's my sort of improve my business career side of stuff. And then I'm still reading Burn the Bullshit by Steve Doran, which is cool. In fact, I did one of the challenges out of there, which was a spontaneous act of celebration. So I'm not sure if you guys caught my video yesterday, but I was in Birmingham at the Grand Central Station, and I had to just randomly, spontaneously start cheering and congratulating, just going woohoo, just like being really happy and celebrating for no apparent reason. So I wasn't allowed to be holding my phone, I wasn't allowed to be sort of listening to music. And yeah, really bizarre feeling, very intimidating, very nervous to start with. And then I got going with it, and it was, once I'd committed myself, I was like, oh shit, I've committed now. And then I had to carry on. And then I walked out just like so nervous and shaky, but it was a very, very cool experience. So I can totally look back and see loads of good reasons why something like that is cool. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone or your familiar zone, as James likes to call it. A couple more people are jumping in. Let me know who's about, what we're up to, what sort of week are we having, guys. Let me know. And then we'll jump in on family and community. I was going to do it when I got to Worcester. I bottled it. Annie, honestly, do it. I said to Sarah, it must be just like when you're a performer performing on stage. If it's natural to you, it works out okay. But I've not been on a stage since I was in high school, and even then, I absolutely was nervous as anything. I think I had like 2 or 3 lines, and I was so worried that I'd mess them up. I just liked it because there was cool people in the group, mainly girls. But yeah, do it. The feeling, the invigorating feeling, is nuts. And a couple of the 5 AM crew, I know you did it, did your videos as well, which is cool. An exhilarating feeling. Right, okay, so lots of talk around different stuff. Let's get into it. So we were looking at family and community, and obviously that can bring up lots of different conversation topics and lots of different sort of ideas. So for me, I just remained as personal and honest to myself of my interpretation of what it means for family and community. So family and community, obviously, I had a very loving family growing up, but a very sort of different relationship with my family members to, for example, my wife's or other people that I've met. And I think that can then have an influence on how you respond and react in different situations. But one thing I think, an underlining theme, was how you feel when you're responsible for somebody else. So for me, I really started to take stock of what my life was about and what sort of the future was about when Sarah became pregnant with Bear. So he's our eldest. He's 2. He was 2 last week, which is nuts. Can't believe he was 2. And he was 2 last week. And when I started thinking about, right, I'm going to be a dad, what does that mean? And I was like, right, I'm going to be a dad. Am I in a job that sort of provides adequately for the family and the environment that I want to bring this child up in? And I thought it did to a certain extent. I was like, am I behaving, and are my values in line with my actions? And they weren't at the time. I was talking one thing and then doing another. And I was like, right, I need to get my shit together. And I remember quite vividly driving over to the hospital after Sarah had Bear. And I think I made a recording somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. But having like that moment in my mind where something just clicked and was like, I need to change my attitudes, change my behaviour, change the environment, change what I'm about. And because suddenly I realised that I was having to care for this like new person that was coming into the world that didn't want for anything apart from food and shelter. That's really all Bear wanted and required from the world. And yeah, it was pretty nuts on how I was going to get my head around all of that. I still consider myself a young man, but sort of an immature, people might say, individual. It was quite a big deal for me, so I was like, right, I'm going to be a dad. I need to make sure what I'm doing is positive and it's like encouraging. And it's around the time that I started listening to Rich Roll. If you've not listened to Rich Roll podcast, you need to go online and find him. Brilliant stuff. And he sort of put me on my line and my trajectory, or where I am now, to being sort of plant-based and what I'm about. He just got me thinking, and I started just to think about, right, in my life then, what sort of positive influence do I have on people? And I was like, well, obviously as a teacher, I have an influence on people all the time. Was it positive? Yes, I try and be as positive as possible, but was it like life-changing? And I was like, well, I sort of just do enough at school and in my job to sort of facilitate their learning, but I was more concerned about what was I going to do at home. So I then started to think about, right, how are you behaving? How are you acting? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you putting into your body? What are you doing with your body? What are you doing with your time? And this sort of like was like an absolute mind boggler, you know, about, right, I'm going to have this new family and I've got a wife to care for and I've got a child that's going to rely on me. And very quickly, the bear just sort of like, he put me in my place where he was like, right, I don't care how much money you earn, I don't care what car you drive, I don't care what house you live in. All I care is that you love me and you care for me and obviously feed me as well. So that sort of stripped everything back, and I was like, right, he's then going to be influenced by everything that I do. So then Sarah and I make conscious efforts now to be always positive around, we've now got 2 kids, always positive around the kids, always be of a mind that you need to be setting a good example, but not like the normal examples of sort of like what society is teaching you, but things that are in line with your own values. So my family were all, my dad especially was brilliant with his manners, and he's such a very helpful and nice guy. And I think that's one of the things I got from him. So I was like, right, I want to instill in Bear, moving forward, nice manners, you know, good behaviour, the love for the outdoors, the love for animals, the love for caring for each other, being very sort of not afraid to show his emotions, which can be quite hard for men. And then especially if you're going to then decide to be plant-based, you get a lot of grief for not being manly because I don't eat meat. Well, it's kind of a big deal to be compassionate as well. So that's another conversation topic. But yeah, it was a big deal, and I suddenly realised, looking back, that I did have all these sort of positive influences, but I wasn't making the most of them. So I was like, right, what can I do, and what can I say that's going to be more positive and more influential on others? And it was finding little things that can have a deeper impact, you know. So I used to donate stuff, I used to sort of give money to charity, but you do that and there's a distance between what you do, your action, and then the implications of it. So I then started to do stuff where I'd see people and help them out, whether it was buy them a drink or some food or whatever. I'm not saying this to sort of big myself up, I'm just making you guys think about what can you do in your daily lives that can have a positive influence on other people. When I first started doing personal training, I had a young PT client who was training to go into the army, and he would come out with me and we'd go training. And if you've read the newsletter, I'm just going to tell you the story again. And the idea was that this guy he wanted to join the army, so I would take him for PT sessions. We'd do early morning sessions, and every person that I saw, I'd say hello to. And that's something my dad always taught me, and it's a manners thing. And every time I'd say hello to somebody, someone would usually look up and smile and say hello back. And this guy would ask me, Sam, would like, why do you say hello to everybody? And I was like, well, why not? You know, we're out here, they're doing stuff, they're out enjoying the weather, we're out enjoying the weather. It's manners and common courtesy to just acknowledge each other, and that's what people used to do. People were very quick to say hello online, and we're sort of interacting online, and there's a facility for it. But when you're meeting somebody, you can actually have that face-to-face communication, saying, hi, how you doing? Having a good day, look at the weather. And all of a sudden that person leaves and they're like, put a smile on their face. You might not, but you might put a smile on their face. That person might be in a terrible place where he thinks, nobody likes me, nobody wants to talk to me. And all of a sudden you've said hello, and it's an easy little thing to do. And as I noticed as we were going through the training that we were doing, more and more times this guy Sam would try and beat me to say hello or good morning to the people we're out with. And before you know it, he was doing it on his own. And then his mum texted me or called me and was like, Sam's like become polite, you know. And not to say that he was rude to begin with, but he was a typical 18, 19-year-old. And now he was like going out of his way to do things for other people. And I think looking back, I had a bit of an impact on people, but I didn't realise I was doing it at the time, which I suppose is a good thing. But if you start to understand that what you put out into the atmosphere, the energy you put out, the sort of conversations you can have with people, that can have a knock-on effect. So these small little positive examples that you set